Okay, so welcome back. We're going to be talking about what I've noticed week 1 through 5 and just how accurate or inaccurate we've been so far. So I'm 2-1 in predictions. I was wrong week 5, but I was right about the Vikings. I was right about us against the Patriots. I did not predict the 2 weeks in between because I was really busy with work. So here's week 1. Guess if you remember what happened week 1. We had the 61 narrative against the Vikings. So here's Packers versus Vikings, September 10th. If you remember, the game was played on September 11th, right? And there it is. Cousins could get his 61st win all time. He could stay at 61 losses all time. And Rodgers could stay at 61 all-time road wins. So you have all that 61 happening. They had their brand new head coach, Kevin 61. So like I said, you have all these 61s happening. These are my notes. Posted up here before the game. Kevin O'Connell, 61, right? First game coaching. You say, well, Jay, what's the big deal? Packers didn't score 61 points. But guess what? 61 is the 18th prime number. And you all remember what happened. The ridiculous game Justin Jefferson decided to have. Just happens to have a ridiculous game, right? In his third season with Minnesota, he got 184 receiving yards and 2 touchdowns and absolutely crushed us. Crushed us. Remember this? So there we were. We saw the narrative going down. We didn't know exactly how they were going to pull it out, but there it was. And this just goes to show that this is every week with this shit. So then what happens? We go over to Tom Brady's schedule. We go over to his games. Here's his current record right now. At home, 158-34. He got his 34th loss at home all time to the Chiefs. Right, here it is. Raymond James Stadium, 34th loss. He's played 5 games. He started the first 2 games away. He was at the Cowboys. He was at the Saints. Won both those games. The Packers go into Raymond James Stadium and they handed him his 33rd loss. You remember that? Well, we didn't get to really talk about that, but what's interesting about that is if we go down to my page and we open up this tab, give it a second, and we search for 33 ritual, let's see what we get. Here's the last year's NFC Championship game screw job. So I'll read that to you. 33, Brady got his 33rd playoff win in that game. Rodgers finished the season at 137 all-time wins, the 33rd prime number. Rodgers had 33 completions in that NFC Championship game. Oh, I scrolled in too far. See, 137, 33rd prime. Of course, the screen wants to go blurry. But yeah, you can go watch this video. It's up. So there was just a whole bunch of 33 in that game. It was absolutely ridiculous, and I documented it there if you want to go actually watch it. But I mean, you look at this. 158, he got his 33rd loss. So here we are. They have that big giant 33 ritual against the Packers, and then we go there and give him his 33rd loss, and that's pretty nuts. So then we go play the Patriots. You say, okay, Jay, well, what happened there? What's the first thing I talked about in that narrative? The 13 narrative was the very first thing that I brought up. Oh, it was the very first thing that I brought up in the video. So here we go, 13 narrative. It's the 13th matchup between the Patriots and Packers all time. The Patriots could go 1-3 to start the season, right? Like they did, 13. Brian Hoyer was starting his 41st game. He did start. That's the 13th prime number. He was born on the 13th of October. Green Bay equals 41 the 13th prime. Rodgers 41 the 13th prime. The Packers, 4-1 at home. So versus the Patriots all time. So that's 41, and they did do that. And Pack equals 13 in full reduction. Rodgers got his 91st home win all time in that game, and 91 is the 13th triangular number. And LaFleur comes in having 41 regular season wins total. And Belichick comes in with 113 losses all time. He didn't stay there, but that got me a little nervous. But look at all the 13s. Right? We know LaFleur was hired at 39. He had 39 wins in his first 3 seasons. Regular season wins, Matt LaFleur, 39, full reduction. Right? And 39 is 13 times 3, and the 13 square number is 169. And from Belichick's birthday to the game was 169 days. So as you can see, you can go back and watch that. But 13, 13, 13, right? Bang. Then what happens? This happens. This crazy, ridiculous crap happens. Now look at this. Here's the pick 6 that Aaron Rodgers happens to throw in the game. With the screen full, it's not going to let me show you. As you can see, that's the 41-yard line. What did we just say? 41 is the 13th prime number. Aaron Rodgers is about to get picked off by number 13 at the 31-yard line. And what did we just say about 3rd and 9? Matt LaFleur, hired at 39, won 39 games in his first seasons. 13 times 3 is 39. Belichick's birthday, the 13 squared number, right, till the game. And then Aaron Rodgers, here he is on 3rd and 9, 13 times 3, gonna throw a pick 6 to number 13 from the 41-yard line. So we can't deny what's happening here. Because if you saw, I was talking about the number 61 in the Vikings game, right? I was talking about the number 11 in the Vikings game, right? And then I'm talking about the number 13 in this game, and here we go.
The first down, take a timeout.
And of course, this is a 39-second clip posted by the NFL. There it is, number 13, picking us off, running the BS back. Aaron Rodgers just lofting it up to him. Little 13 ritual. And look, with 13 seconds, I noticed that. With 13 seconds left, I totally forgot about that part of this whole crap. And I had been thinking about, I wanted to share that. Let's back this shit up.
And then from there, you see the instincts. What a pick. We talked earlier.
There it is. Number 13 from the 41-yard line on 3rd and 9, 13 times 3. With 13 seconds left on the clock. Picked him off at exactly the 41-yard line, which would have been the first down marker. And it's fucking crazy. It's freaking crazy. And the Packers go 4-1 against the Patriots at home all time. And that is the 13th prime. So just look at this crazy shit. Brady with the 33rd loss. Aaron Rodgers throwing that pick 6. And again, I'm showing you that video I posted with all the 13 breakdowns. They're showing you it right in the game. October 1st, 2022. That game, October 2nd. Like I said, 61, September 10th. We played that game on September 11th. So pay attention. I'm breaking this shit down. Yeah, do I always have it right? Obviously not, but I've now, in the last 2 seasons, since week 4 of last season, when I started predicting games ahead of time instead of breaking them down post game, I only got 1 regular season game wrong, and then this year I'm 2-1. So that London bullshit had me screwed up. And if you remember about this London game, all I talked about was the fact that had all this shit to do with the number 22 in 2022. And, you know, just happened that it didn't go in our favor. But what are the freaking odds they take a safety so we can finish with 22 points? Right? Like, the fucking Giants take a safety so we can get to 22 points and somehow finish the game with 22, which is a pretty awkward score for the NFL, right? And it's like I was going on and on about 22 and 14, and they just kind of teased the narrative. But guess what? The quarterback, Daniel Jones, stayed at 13 losses away all time, or at home, even if they counted it as a home game for the guy, because both teams get like an overseas. Again, this is my first time breaking down a London game. I don't really give a shit about these London games unless we're playing. And yeah, so I'll have to look into that a little bit deeper next time. I didn't have a lot of time, but this I wanted to show you. I mean, they're throwing it in your face on the stat lines each game. In that Patriots game, I mean, that Buccaneers game rather, fucking Patriots, Tom Brady. That Buccaneers game, right? When we played them, both Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady started the game 3 for 3 passing in Tom Brady's 33rd loss. And there was more shit. I can't really think of it probably now. It's been a few weeks. I just haven't had time to sit there and break all this shit down. But I'm watching it happen live. So I'll throw out some more shit. I might post some more stuff about the Giants bullshit, and we'll see what we got coming up. But yeah, look, they're throwing the lines at you, and you have to think about what we're doing here. This is almost like a model, right? And Gematria is like data. It's like we know they're scripting the game, but unless they tell us, hey, we're gonna let so-and-so win, we don't know, right? We're using a certain model, meaning we're taking all this input, all these numbers, and we're saying that these numbers are symbolically significant. They mean something to people who are scripting the games. And then what we're doing is we're trying to use that information to pick correctly who they've deemed ahead of time is going to actually be the winner. And sometimes, like you saw with the Giants game, or some of the playoff games which are really tightly wound, you get the same numbers hitting, but they just don't fall in your favor, or they tease you with certain numbers all game long, and then they hit you over the head. Like, you know, what happened in the Giants game? If you remember, I'm just going to do a separate breakdown of the Giants game. So this is it for this video. Again, this is like a model. No model is going to be statistically perfect, right? Because they're just models. They're going to have flaws. They can't look at everything. They're just looking at some things. And in this case, a lot of times we're stuck just looking at the Gematria. This is why I also try to throw in the mythology with it when I can find it, and map on the symbolism. You know, to decode all this crazy shit is like a full-time job in and of itself. But it's really cool to look at and break down from week to week and see the same patterns repeating. So, all right, I'll do a separate thing for the Giants.